The Ryan Ries Show from Southern California. This is The Ryan Ries Show. Post your questions using @Ryan Ries on his Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Are you ready?
All right. It is going down. I'm excited for this show, to be honest. I'm actually currently right now in Mexico City. We're actually at the airport in a hotel because we are on our way. We are actually starting the revival nights actually tomorrow. So we're going to be hitting Veracruz. We're going to be hitting Mérida. We're going to be hitting Cuernavaca, which is right outside of Mexico City. And the other locations are around different parts of Mexico. And I'm actually in the hotel room right now with Hesser Gaona, which is... he's one of the Whosoever's ambassadors. He's been on my show before, but you guys would know him from the Whosoever's Mexico. We raised him up as an ambassador years ago, I think right before COVID. And ever since, he's been touring Mexico. He was born and raised here in Cuernavaca, so right outside of Mexico City, about an hour away, where the weather is perfect year round. But he has literally been touring hundreds of schools. I think we've done at least over a couple hundred schools so far, and he continues to hit them. He works with the government. They open the doors, mandatory assemblies. And since then, he's even got more favor in Mexico City, and now he's working also with human trafficking stuff, prostitutes, the transgenders here. It's just all kinds of amazing, radical stories. And I wanted to bring him here live to the show to share these stories with you guys that are interested in what's going on down in Mexico. Massive country, amazing people. Just we have such an amazing time down here, and amazing things what God is doing here in this country. Now remember, Mexico is born and based on an atheist government. So the fact about talking about Jesus in schools or anything like that is against the law. But yet God has given Hesser the keys to Mexico. When I say Mexico, I'm talking anywhere he decides to go in any state, he ends up getting connections, and God opens the doors to the prisons, to the schools, to wherever. So God has given this guy favor here in his own country. And Hesser, what is up, my man?
Hey, what is up?
Dude, thanks for being on the show. Oh, last time I had you on the show, I was trying to remember last time. We were in
Acapulco.
We were in Acapulco, Mexico for the conference.
Yes.
And we did a little update with you back then. That's right. That's when we had you in. So you guys probably heard him over the last couple months. But here we are now. So I want to talk about, just to give a little background on you really quick for the listeners. Hesser's background is he grew up in the church, walked away from God, skateboarder, punk rock skater, gets saved. Long story short, he starts serving in a church down here, in a Calvary church down here called Semilla, becomes a youth pastor. From there, serving more, becomes a pastor, gets involved with the Bible college down here, and then connects with the Whosoevers. And now, from that point, years later, he gets married, he has kids, and now years later, here he is doing evangelism in a massive way through Mexico. Like no other. I don't know anyone else that's doing as much evangelism here in this country with literally the keys to every door. So let's get after what the heck have you been up to?
Dude, always making some travels.
Of course.
No, it has been fun. Honestly, it's crazy to me, like listening what you're saying. Like I'm completely like shocked on what the Lord has been doing in the last years. I mean, probably because of my background in the skate world and everything. I always been like in the church. Well, when I was a kid, I was in the church, but I was like always more attracted outside of the church, right?
Yeah, totally.
But then I met Jesus and I came to the church. But at the same time, I realized like something is missing. Like, because I knew a lot of my friends, they will never come to the church. And even when I was like making like, it was really good. My youth group was like rowing and everything. But I was like, yeah, but these are the kids that are the kids of the people of the church. And my friends, they are outside, and it was like always this feeling in my heart, like I have to go outside because they will not come here.
You had that call or that tug to like, well, what about them out there? Like, this is cool. The kids are here discipling them. That's awesome. That's why we go to church. But you had this like call to like, we got to get them.
Yes.
So I have a question for you. Like, before you met us and when you're in this situation, what was the ideas that you maybe thought about? Like, how can you reach these group of people?
Oh, I mean, we were reaching the kids.
Yeah.
Because at some point we were like serving with a camp that is in Morelos, that they were bringing like probably 500 or 600 kids every single week.
Dang.
And we were preaching the gospel. But at the same time, I was preaching in that time, but it wasn't like a real connection with the kids. It was like I was giving a Bible study and they were listening, and probably I made an altar call or something like that, and they respond, but it wasn't like fired up, you know,
Right,
like.
yeah.
But then after that, I start. That was something really crazy because, you know, as a skater, our worst enemy are the police, the cops.
Yeah.
And my pastor told me, like,
when we were not Christians, okay, people?
Yeah, completely.
Okay. Just for the record, we love cops.
So then my pastor told me, like, hey, you have to be preaching to the police of the state.
Oh, shoot.
Because they invite us to preach every single week to the whole police.
It's the I went there with you. It's the academy.
The academy.
It's the main hub academy for that city.
Yes. And they were like police of all around. They came, and every week I was preaching again the gospel, and I was learning. In that time I learned a lot. Like, I learned how to respect my authority.
Yeah.
I learned how to talk to them. I learned, like, hey, they are not the enemy. They are someone with honor.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was something that what I was doing before meeting the whosoever.
Yeah. But you know what's cool though is as you're doing this stuff, God's getting you ready, preparing you. So you're teaching the kids, right? Number one, you're teaching the kids in the church.
Yes.
Then you're learning how to deal with people outside the church and the places of law and government. That's government basically, right? And you're learning how to teach the Bible to like government kind of people versus kids. Two different kind of vibes. So God was already preparing you, and He had that call like outside.
Yeah, and that teach me like there are ways to be like reaching out to the people, and I think I did that like 3 years, kind of something like that. And after that, I met the whosoever's. So then I realized like, oh, there's a way to reach to my people, to the skaters, and to. So we start, and I remember the first time like we made a skate contest. It was amazing, but at the end, a lot of the kids they didn't stay at the church. And I ask you, I probably you don't remember that.
Did we do it? We did a skate contest. Oh, did we do it at the skate park, but they didn't come to the church, or where was it?
No, the first one we did it in the plaza in El Centro.
Oh yeah.
In the main square.
Yep.
And a lot of people came.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember this, but I was like, why the kids didn't stay in the church? And you say one time to me like, it's because you need to make more connection with them. They don't trust you.
Yeah.
They think you just want to convert to your faith. And that's something that like changed the way that I see the things like, oh, that's truth. I like, because I used to be one of the skaters, and I knew when someone came just to preach or, you know.
Yep.
So
you see him coming from far.
And suddenly I was that guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was,
That's crazy, huh?
yeah, that's crazy. So
It happens.
I start to, okay, I need to spend time skating. I need to spend time in the skate park. I need to spend time outside of the church. It's good to, at the same time, I was given like discipleships in the church and still in the youth group. But in my free time, I start spending time with the kids. So that helped me to have, again, connection with the skaters. But also, it showed me, because it's a new generation. The kids are different now.
Yeah, it's true. The skate, yeah. New generation as in there's a new generation, but also there's a whole new generation of skateboarding culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it started showing me, oh no, the things are different now.
Yeah.
So I started learning a lot of the kids, a lot of the culture outside of the church. And honestly, that started leading to a whole new
world.
Yeah, whole new world.
You know what? That's very true and interesting, because you know they say, well, I've tried to reach the kids, but I don't relate. Well, how are you going to relate if you're living in church culture and then you just come up and you're like, hey guys, let me tell you about the gospel, and they're like, who's this clown? First, I don't trust him. I don't know him. Wait, does he want to just come seal the deal with us, lead us to the Lord, and walk away and check that off our list? Mm-hmm. But really, it's you have to know. You have to know. I'm always listening to like the young kids, how they talk, because they have different they have different words now. They have different verbiage, and you have to understand the language, of what they're doing, the style, what's going on, what music they're listening to. It's a whole different. A lot of the music they listen to now, I'd be like, I would never listen to that. Like the rap they listen to sucks now.
Yes.
But now they hear my kids, they're singing. They have like pop songs with like trap beats. My kids, 8 years old. I'm like, not rappers, just kid songs now. It's like everything's changing now, the music and everything.
Everything. And honestly, I don't want to be one of those one of those guys that came and tried to look cool, but I'm almost 40 years old.
Yeah, totally.
Come like, hey, I'm a...
Yeah, hey man, check me out. Yeah.
yeah. Because they know. But I have been learning, they don't want someone that is poser, like fake.
Yeah.
I'm a dad now.
Exactly.
So I can go with my kids and skate and be in the skate park, and they are like, oh, dude, that's awesome. I want a dad like you.
Yeah, dude. Dude, that's funny, because I go to the skate park with my kids too, and they're like, dude, no way. Like, that's your dad. That's, they go, I wish I had a dad.
Yes.
I wish I had a dad that brought me to the skate park or skated, or vice versa, like what they told you too. Like, oh man, when I'm a dad, I want to do that.
Yeah.
We are dads, and we can, right? And then that's fine. It puts us in a perfect place with them.
Yeah. The only kids that they don't appreciate that are my kids.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. My kids are like, get away, I want to skate. No, dude, but it's so true. It's so true. I mean, as you're talking, I'm thinking about like the skate culture where I'm at in our park, because we have a lot of us. There's like a crew of the dads that have kids, and we all go skate together. And
oh,
then
really?
You have the younger guys, but we're known as like where the dads are. So they'll be like, oh, that's sick, man, good trick. And I'm like, I'm an old fart, dude. I'm old. I'm almost, I'm 49 years old, dude. I'm old. Yeah. I'm excited to be skateboarding. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But then again, they'll talk to you, and there's like that respect.
Yeah, and also,
we're not trying to, do anything. Just.
And sometimes some things cool happen. Like I'm there and I grab my board and start making some tricks, and then one of the kids come and say like, hey, should we play a game of skate or something like that? I'm like, yeah, sure. And we start playing the game, and then I win the game, and they're like, oh no, this old man.
The dad.
One time one guy was like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a pastor. Oh no, a pastor win me a game of skate. I can't believe this. And I'm like, oh, yeah. But that's cool. But
that's amazing.
Also, something that we have learned, like with my wife, it's like, if we go to the skate park, we bring some bags, and I don't know how you say, like for cleaning the skate park.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's clean. Like trash bags.
Yeah.
Like a what do you call it? Like a broom or something.
Yeah, a broom. And just clean, just serve, because that's something that, and they are like, and they are watching.
They're watching, yeah.
And we're not doing that for that they watch us and then we will preach to them or something like that. But no, we want that they know us, and sometimes they just show up and they say like, hey, let me help you, or thank you for cleaning the skate park.
Yeah.
Because we're in Mexico and sometimes the skate parks are...
Yeah, well, it depends on where you're at in America too. or actually, it depends on where you're at any skate park in the world.
And honestly, you were saying at the beginning like that the Lord has given the keys of a lot of places. But I have learned that sometimes the door, it looks like closed, but at the bottom, if you are like humble, you can enter in some places. Like serving, sometimes it's a really good key to enter in
right.
in
you
some.
You get favor. People. Yeah, if you're just serving, doing like being Christ-like and just serving, then God can open doors through that. What are some stories of how that particular situation would have happened by serving, and then all of a sudden, next you know, God opens a big door.
Yeah, well, I can think on one that it's with the transgender community.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay, so one time I heard about that the leader of the transgender community in my city, they were throwing a party in the hospital for the little kids that are sick with HIV. Mm-hmm. So I just show up. And I mean, I don't know anybody of the community, right? But I was like praying, and Lord, I want to learn and meet them and see in what way we can. I want to be like a bridge between the culture and the church.
Yeah.
So how, Lord? So I just show up to that event. And they were giving like toys to the kids and everything. And it was hard for me, honestly, because in one part of my mind, it's like, well, I cannot be helping this because I don't want to be part of anything that it's not aligned with the Lord or the scriptures. Yeah. But in the other hand, I would like, but I want to make
you want to make connection. You want to bridge.
Yeah.
You want to make friends and bridge so you can start conversations one day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just came up. I went with the guy or with the lady.
Lady boy?
And I just say, hey, hi, can I help you in something? And he was like, yeah. Grab this costume of Winnie Pooh and put it and play with the kids. And I was like, oh no. Okay, I will do it. I put the
Winnie Pooh outfit on?
Winnie Pooh
costume?
And
do you have pictures?
Yeah, no. It was so hot inside of that. I was like only like probably 80 minutes and I take it out. I'm sorry, I cannot help you anymore. It's really hot inside. And yeah, and just help in whatever I can do. So at the end of the day, he was like, why you are here? Who are you?
Who are you anyway?
Who are you?
You're not even a transgender.
And I was like, hi, I'm just a guy. I'm a pastor. But I came to help. Why? And I say, because I want to know you. I want to make a connection because I want to meet your community. I love the Lord, and the Lord has given so much love to me that I think he wants to give that kind of love to also to you guys. So I don't know if we can be friends. And he was like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow in my salon.
Oh my gosh.
And we can talk. Well, okay. So the next day I say to my wife.
Okay, so that's favor number one. Okay, guys, in case you guys are paying attention, that's favor.
Yes. So
first of all, showing up, going, I don't even know what I'm doing, God. I'm going to pray. I want to meet them. Shows up. Hey, what are you doing here? Put the costume on. Then meet me at my salon. And you said you're a pastor. That should have ended pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, and with my wife also. Like, hey, I come.
Yeah.
I see you later. I'm going to a transgender party,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
but then at the end of the day, I went to my house and I say to my wife, hey, like, I need that you come with me tomorrow because I don't know what I'm doing. So I went the next day, and he was like, okay, tell me, what are you thinking? What's your plan? What it's all about this? And I was like, okay, I'm a pastor. I'm a Christian. I know I believe what the Bible says is right is right. I know what the Bible says is wrong. But I want to be your friend. Can we be friends? And he was like, I'm not converting to Christianity.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want that you convert to Christianity. I don't want to convert you. That's the job of the Holy Spirit, right?
Yeah.
I just want to know your community and learn how to love you guys. He was like, okay, let's do it.
He's like, put the Winnie the Pooh outfit back on. No, I'm just joking.
And the rules of the game was really clear.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Christian. This is our, like, my values, and I know what you believe, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we start talking, and pretty much like in 2 or 3 months after that, we arranged a dinner with a lot of the transgender community.
Dude, epic.
It was crazy. I mean, it was really crazy because it showed up like porn actors.
Porn stars?
Yeah, like porn stars,
Yeah.
but like men.
Transgender porn stars.
Transgender porn stars. Yeah, all kind, like activists in the government and everything. And they all were like, what is this?
It reminds me of that story when Jesus was sitting at the table at Matthew's house, and it says that he was with a bunch of notorious sinners.
Yeah, pretty much. And we were like, this is what we're trying to do, is to show the love of Jesus.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And
That was kind of freaky though, huh?
yeah, it's kind of freaky.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's hard sometimes because I would like, how should I call them? Like, should I call he or she? How
Did they all have different kind of...
Yeah, how to handle this?
Yeah.
Should we pray, not pray? All that kind of stuff is sketchy.
Yeah.
But the Lord gave us wisdom. One cool story about that one, it's days before, a bunch of friends, we just start like every single week, like having meetings to be praying, fasting, worshiping the Lord, like searching, how do you want to do this? How do you want to do this? And one of these times, as we were praying, one of my friends, he received like a vision of flowers, like pink flowers. And he was like, I don't know if this makes sense to anybody, but I just saw, we were praying for these guys, and I just saw flowers. And we're like, well, we can buy flowers. And one of the girls, she said like, I want to do a cake with the flowers. And then when we show up in the dinner with the community, one of those guys was his birthday, and he was like anybody thought in my birthday, anybody like, and then he saw the flowers and everything, and he was like, oh, how do you know that my favorite flowers are these ones?
You've got the same flowers.
And we were like, oh no, we didn't know. We were praying, and the Lord showed.
No way.
And yeah,
that's amazing.
Yes.
He's freaking out.
And now that dinner give a connection with one of the leaders of the transgender community. So every time someone show up with him with problems, he called me to say like, hey, I have someone with problems. Can you help? Like,
no way. See, the door's open now.
The doors are opening.
Dang.
And he knows, like, right now, he said he don't believe in God. You know, but at the same time, he recognized like you guys have something different, and the people with problems,
they need to talk to you.
They need to talk. And
wow.
For me, it's like, okay, we have to be waiting. It's in the time of the Lord.
Yeah.
But the Lord is working in there.
Dude, that's incredible. Yes. Man, this is an amazing story for the people that are listening right now. Just what an awesome, amazing opportunity of stepping out by faith and not knowing how it's even going to happen, but God did. One thing after another, he gave you the wisdom. I like that how you said that God gave us the wisdom. Yes. You know, what does James says you have not because you ask not, right? If you need wisdom, ask God. He's gonna give it to you. And in any situation or stepping out by faith and doing ministry, God will give you the wisdom of how to get it done. But don't expect it overnight. You know what I mean? I'm sure the story was like several weeks, months. How long did it take to get to this moment?
Oh, I mean, probably like 5-6 months.
6 months. Least. Okay, we just told that story in 10 minutes. So that's 6 months of
yes.
of learning how to love them, not coming in trying to disrupt everything and change everything, but come in to love them. And then God gave you the pass, the keys to when people with problems would come. And that's what God does. He cleans us up.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. Okay, well, we have 2 minutes left before the break. Is there anything else you want to add to that story before because we have a lot more stories coming in the next break.
Oh, yes.
We got some pretty crazy stories of the street ministry stuff with the working with the human trafficking and the prostitutes and the pimps and throwing parties for the prostitutes, I think, out in the streets.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to talk about. Yeah, because Jesus parties. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, all right. Well, here, let's do a little background on you really quick. So where can people find you? What church are you a part of down here in Cuernavaca?
Okay. I'm part of the church in Semilla, Cuernavaca. My pastor is Jaime Foot. He has been working a lot in ministry, more like 40 years here in Mexico.
Yeah, he's a gringo but been living here for 40 years.
Oh yeah, but he knows the Mexican slang and
he's not
culture even better than us.
He's not a gringo.
No,
he's born in America, but not a gringo.
Oh yeah. The first time that I ate with him pozole, I saw him putting chile in the pozole, and I was like, oh, probably the salsa is not hot. And then I tasted, and I was like,
burning.
And he was like so chill, and I was like, what? And then I learned, oh, he's a Mexican.
He's a Mexican.
Yes.
I used to be a Mexican too. I burned my stomach with too much chili, so I guess I'm not a Mexican. All right. So, and by the way, you guys could find Hesser on Instagram. You can find him on the Whosoever's Mexico or the Whosoever's MX.
Yeah, the Whosoever's MX.
The Whosoever's MX. He runs the Instagram, and then your Instagram is you can spell it out. How do you spell it?
Jesser, Hesser, and then Gaona, Gaona.
That's how you find him. You can find him. I follow him. You'll see him. You can find him through Whosoever's Mexico is the best way. But he is doing ministry all over. How many different states and cities would you say you've been to, or different cities? I guess just doing the ministry with the schools and all that stuff.
Or states, probably more than 14 states.
More than 14 states. So cities. I mean.
Yeah, hundreds. Cities are more.
Tons. I mean, I'm telling you, this guy is doing it. All right. Well, hey, we're going to come back in 2 minutes. We are live in Mexico City right now at the airport. We set up, we came in actually with Lucas to come set up the table, and I moved the table over and the whole table collapsed and broke. It was built with one screw, very heavy table. Took two of us to lift it up, had one screw holding it. But we recovered it, put it together, and now we have this podcast, amazing studio, happening right here in Mexico City at the airport. And tomorrow we start revival nights. So we're going to be hitting De La Cruz, Veracruz, Cuernavaca, and Mérida in Mexico. So we'll be back in 2 minutes after the break to talk about street ministry with the prostitutes, human trafficking, and many more local stories. Peace.
More of The Ryan Ries Show. Coming up, post your questions at Ryan Ries on his Instagram, Twitter, and or Facebook. Now, back to The Ryan Ries Show.
We are back in studio. Well, actually, our studio tonight is in Mexico City in the hotel right here at the airport. I have Hesser in studio, and at break we were just talking about when we went down to Acapulco and we were eating this amazing sushi. That the pastor goes, "Hey, we're gonna take you out to get some sushi. You guys like sushi?" He said, "Yeah." I started eating it, and I put that, like, the lime's different down here. It's like it has like a sweeter kind of taste. I'm putting lime on the sushi. I'm eating it, and it was just so good. We just kept eating it, and it was cheap. It was like 50 cents a piece or something crazy. I went buck wild, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that tore my stomach up. I don't know what happened. I thought I had a bug in my stomach for like 3 weeks when I got back to me. I was getting scared. I was like losing weight. I was like, I got a bug. I gotta go to the doctors. They gotta do something to my stomach. But man, that sushi was phenomenal. If I could go back, I'd do it all again, the same way.
I just love when the Americans come to Mexico and got sick with the food.
But they call it. Did you come up with the name when we were here? You call it
The Mexican Experience.
The Mexican Experience.
We are waiting you here in Mexico. If you want to experience
if you want to have the
Mexican experience, we are with our arms open to receive you.
When I met Hesser, he showed me. He goes, I am Mexican, and I carry these pills because you can get the Mexico experience, and you Americans, you'll never survive. So it's a thing. But man, the food is so stinking good down here. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's get this interview done because I'm ready to go to the restaurant and get some flan. All right. All right. Let's hurry up.
Let's go.
So wait, we were talking about right before the break how God gave you favor in the transgender community. You met with like the leader or the president of the transgender community in Morales, which is in Cuernavaca, right? It's about an hour outside of Mexico City in the hills.
Yeah.
Anyway, God gave you favor. Next, you know, you're meeting with them at the salon, and then you're doing dinners with all of them, and the transgender porn stars, the transgender strippers, the transgenders themselves, just the whole movement. And what all came out of this whole thing is that what that leader realized is that as people in his community started having problems, and you told him, I said, I've come to learn how to love your community. I don't know, I just want to be available. And 6 months later, here you are, and every time there's someone that has a problem of some sort, mental problem, depression, suicide, family, probably just whatever, addictions.
Yeah.
He gets that person and directs them to you. And now here you are planted in the middle of the transgender community. Dude, that is amazing.
That's something cool.
That is amazing. And the rules were laid out. Like you said at the very beginning of the show, you said, hey, I believe what the Bible says. I believe it's true. I'm not changing. And he said, I'm not changing to Christianity. And you said, I'm not here to convert you. I just come to love. But yet, God's using this guy to allow you to minister to the whole community. So epic. Okay, now take us to the streets of Mexico, where it's getting wild in Mexico City.
Yeah.
How the heck did that even happen?
Well, one day I was talking with a friend, and he was like saying to me, like, hey, the Lord, it's putting in my heart, I don't know, probably to build a shelter for the kids, of human trafficking or something like that. And I was like, of human trafficking? I don't think that's easy at all.
Yeah.
But one of my best friends of life, he just got married, and his wife is working on a non-profit organization that works with the human trafficking. So I was like, hey, but hold on, I have a friend that,
Yeah.
So I called him and I said, hey, if someone wants to build a shelter, it's easy or it's not easy? And he was like, I don't know, man. You should talk with the boss of my wife. And he gave me his phone. So I grabbed the phone, I made a call, and I was like, hey, we want to know if we can, build a shelter. And he was like, okay, come to my office. So we went to his office here in Mexico City, and he started talking about everything that involves, like a shelter.
Yeah. Totally.
And we were like, oh no, we are just kids dreaming big.
Yeah.
But at the end of the talk, he said, like, because it's huge, when we are talking about human trafficking, it's not only like you're not in a movie that you're coming to the streets and grab a kid and then start running and then you take it to a house. Yeah. No, it's not easy. You have to be working with the government. You have to be working with the police, and the kids don't want to be in a house. And
they don't want to leave.
Yeah, so we got this courage, but at the end of the talk, he said like, "Hey, we throw parties in the red zones. Do you want to come to
the red light districts?
Yeah, do you want to come to one of the parties?" And we're like, "Sure, we want to be there." So we went to one of the parties. Basically, what you do, it's you grab some chocolates or flowers or something like that, and you go with the girls in the street that they are working.
These are the prostitutes working the street.
Yeah.
And you just walk up to them and give them chocolates and roses?
Yeah. I'm talking probably at 8 or 9 p.m. in the night when everybody is working.
When people are working, yeah.
So you go and you say like, "Hey, do you want a chocolate? We want to invite you to a party that we're throwing here. We just bring food and music, and we have paint for the nails. Do you want to come?" And some of the girls say yes, some of the girls no, and then a lot of the girls come to the party.
How many girls work those streets? Like, what's average? Like that one area?
We're talking about like probably 400.
400 girls work in this area.
Oh yeah, in Mexico City, it's a thing.
So because that's like the red light district. Like there's one.
Yeah, like there are blocks and
blocks of this one red light district.
Yeah,
it's a city basically.
Yeah, and here in Mexico City, there are like 4 or 5 red light districts.
Got it. Yeah.
So there are so many.
Yeah, so 400 girls. Like, okay, so this is big.
Yeah, this is big. So, but obviously you cannot invite all of them. You just one of the blocks, one section, and you invite, and sometimes they show up like probably like 40 girls.
Dang.
And you just be with them, listen to them. If they allow, you can pray for them. And we have been doing that probably like from that day to today, like 2 years. But now we are showing not with a party, like just showing like with coffee and cookies.
So you're just like, come over, get some coffee and cookies, because now they know you guys.
Yeah, now because we want to have a connection with them. Yeah. They know us, and now if we don't show up, they say like, "Hey, why you didn't came?" And and every time, sometimes they are talking about their problems, they are talking about their struggles, and let me pray for you, or let me tell you something that the Bible says about this. Yeah. And that's pretty amazing.
That's the relationship. See, and that's amazing. And if you guys weren't there, then what prayer would they be having, and what biblical knowledge? They wouldn't have anything. You guys are there, just talking to them and making yourself available.
Yes.
That's so amazing.
Because, something that it's really like mainstream right now, at least here in Mexico, in the cartels and with the prostitutes, it's like the Santa Muerte religion.
Okay, let's break that down.
Yeah, the Santa Muerte, it's like the holy death.
The holy death. That's not the Day of the Dead. No, that's the Day of the Dead's a different thing.
I don't know.
Day of the Dead has a different name.
Yeah, no,
but the holy death. They worship a It's an idol. They have an idol, right?
Yeah, it's a school. It's of the dead.
It's a skull.
They worship the dead.
Yeah, they worship the dead.
And the way that they worship the dead, it's giving cigarettes or tequila or money, or, and the cartels, one time in the year, like in October, November, they offer a prostitute to the idol.
Wow.
Yeah. It's something crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre being from America, thinking like people are like worshiping a statue and offering prostitutes or we're just worshiping the dead. Not even a god,
No.
not even like, oh yeah, we worship the statue, it's a god, like the dead.
Oh no,
That's gnarly, huh?
Yeah. So one time one of the girls has a tattoo of the death.
Yeah.
So I started like asking questions to her about, and she was like, "Oh no, the death is my friend. She talks to me. We talk every single day, and she shows me when she's mad with me." And I was like, "How she shows you?" And then she was like, "Oh, she moved my bed." And I was like, "Okay." And that kind of things show me like this is not a game,
No.
This is spiritual. This is real. We are in a battlefield, and we are in a war zone, and we have to be like in tune with the spirit because these girls, they think they are worshiping the correct God, but no, this is not the correct God. And I mean, spiritual things happen, but they are not from the Lord.
Yeah. Dang, yeah, it's real deal stuff. You're dealing with like demonic stuff. I mean, even if they didn't worship the Day of the Dead, that place is straight up demonic. That they're selling their bodies to the night for sex, and there's drugs and there's pimps. You ever run into any problem with any of the pimps or they're ran by the cartel?
No, the pimps.
The pimps.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know why they let us.
Yeah, what are the pimps? The pimps don't care?
They are like there. Sometimes they come to the party and they are like asking questions like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, we're throwing a party for the girls." And they were like, "Oh, okay." And then we make a raffle because when we are talking about human trafficking, that a lot of these girls are victims of human trafficking, they are not there because they want. They have to be there, and they have to be working like crazy work hours, like probably 12 hours every single day.
Dang.
And all the money that they have is not for them. They have to give it to the pimps. So if we come with the girls and we give them clothes or shoes or a bag or food, they're happy because they don't have.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is heavy. So you guys haven't had any problems with the pimps? They come and just check it out to make sure everything's cool.
Yeah. Not.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome.
That's the grace of the Lord,
Yeah. So what other cool things? Do you have any cool stories of just some of the girls that you've been talking to?
Let me think. Because one another something that is really cool that it's not from the streets, but it's in this time that in Mexico we have not so much schools because of the change of government. We start like knocking doors in the rehab centers.
Oh yeah.
And then we discover that in Mexico there's a really big problem with drug addictions, right? So in the rehab centers there are a huge amount of kids.
Really?
There are huge. Yeah. Sometimes we come to the rehabs and there are kids from 11 years old or 12 years old that they are like addict with meth or something.
Dang.
Yes. So we're like, oh, we need to do a tour in the rehabs because there's also a lot of, like.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Mexico, it's just all ages, and there's just tons of them.
Yeah, and we don't have like rehabs just for kids. Sometimes the kids has to be.
That's what I'm saying. It's all together.
All together.
So tell me some cool stories of the rehab.
Oof.
So many of it.
So many. One time I was like in one of the rehabs, and I was like in a time that I was praying for healing persons. And the Lord, like always, every time that I pray for somebody, like, hey, Lord, do you want to heal this person with a headache or with a knee problem or something like that? The Lord always said, like, no, or at least they didn't heal, right? So, but I don't know why I was in this rehab and I was speaking with a lot of girls, and was one girl all tattoo in their face and she was like, and I was speaking, I was preaching the gospel, and they were like listening, but they were like,
vibing, not they weren't down,
like doubting.
Yeah.
So I say, like, okay, I'm not coming here just to tell you Bible stories and bore you. I honestly think that this is real. This is the real deal.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pray. If one of you girls is sick or something, or has a headache or anything, I'm gonna pray for you. So the girl was like, me. And like,
oh shoot.
And in the outside, I was so confident. I was like, yeah, sure. In the inside,
yeah.
I was like, oh no, what I'm gonna do? And I said, okay, I'm gonna pray for your headache and see what I think the Lord's gonna heal you. And if the Lord heals you, all of you girls will know that what we are talking about and what I'm teaching, it's real. It's the gospel. It's Jesus that wants to transform your life. So I prayed.
The tattoo girl.
To the tattoo girl. But I say to her, like, hey, don't say that you are well if you are not well. Yeah. Say the truth. And she was like, I'm not going to help you. I know, like, okay. So I was like, okay, Lord, in the name of Jesus, I pray for this girl that you heal her.
What was her? Did she have a headache?
Yeah, she has a headache. So I prayed, and she was like,
no,
I don't have a headache.
No.
And I was like, no way.
Of course. No way.
I was the most like unbelievable guy over there. And she was like, no, I don't have. And all the girl was, no. And I was like, you see?
I told you.
I told you. This is real. And
then what happened?
And then preach the gospel, and all of them were like, I want
Jesus.
I want
See,
Jesus.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. Hesser, we've seen that happen so much, huh?
Yes.
I haven't seen it happen recently because I haven't been in the situation, but it just reminds me back to like our Durango tour, Cuernavaca tours, and then even just continued in America. Just there was a time when we were doing a lot of street stuff, you know, and they didn't believe. I remember being in Florida and kids didn't believe. These two black guys were just like they were like talking all the time. And anyway, one guy got healed, and then that changed the whole room. The whole room just prayed for him. But it's God gives you that. It's like that frustration of like, I believe it's real. Fine, forget it. Who's hurt? God's just gonna have to heal someone because no one's listening. And then, dude, the atmosphere changes, and then boom. Dude, that's what's up. I love that.
That's the
and she's
thing.
probably the most hardcore girl in there.
Yes. Yeah.
Out of all of them. She's like, tatted on her face, the whole thing. She's just vibing. And then, boom, she gets healed. And she's like, all right, tell me more.
I know.
Tell me who this Jesus is.
What can you say? The Lord just show up and made something crazy,
happens, dude.
right?
Holy Spirit wrecks the place. Wrecks causes havoc. Everything they thought was not.
Mm-hmm.
So epic.
So there are like the rehabs, the schools. In the schools, it's pretty much the same. Like every single place that we go, there are a lot of what's the word, like necessity, like the need.
The need,
a lot of needs, and in the schools it's the same. We just go, and in the last school that we went, like last week, I think it was, we preach, and then one of the principals, she showed up and she was talking with me, and she was like, okay, come on, this is really good, the kids need. And the principal was like saying to all the kids, you need to read this book, because we were giving...
you guys made your book to give out, that one.
Yeah. But also in that school, we were giving Bibles, and the principal was like, hey kids, you have to read this book. And I was like, are you Christian? No.
No.
But they're understanding there are a lot of needs.
The principals, that's what we've realized as we've been on tour with you as well down here. It's like the principals that know, they don't even know what to do. They know there's a mental health crisis, and they're like, even though they don't believe in God, they're like, these kids need something. Mm-hmm. Yes, give them God. Just, I'm not a Christian, but just read this. Anything that will help. And
even because I thought what I'm doing in the schools has no connection with what I'm doing with the human trafficking, right? But then in that school, when I was talking with the principal, just having a conversation, and I said, oh, we go to Mexico and we have all these parties and everything. And she was like, hey, you need to talk of this with the kids, because you know what is happening? Some of the girls in the school, they are paying to other girls to take pictures like naked, and the girls are selling these pictures to all guys. So now they are actually selling.
They're selling
the girls, and then don't even realize what they are doing.
Dude, that's heavy. Yeah, you know what? Times have changed. Even with social media, even just the hand pictures. People are going on, and there's these apps that they're naked, and people pay money. I don't know what these apps are called, but yeah, it's not. There's so many different ways to human traffic yourself, not even do it, or even start it.
Yeah,
selling pictures of yourself.
But at the same time, I think it's a darkest time.
Yeah.
But the gospel shines brighter.
Shines brighter, exactly. No, it's the most important time. Even with the whosoever's, everything that we do in the streets and the schools, the way times are right now, there is such a need more than ever for not only us, but for people to encounter Jesus on their own and go out and share with this generation. There has to be more.
Yeah.
You're just hearing a story from Hesser down here in Mexico. There's so many schools, there's so many inner cities, there's so many people that are lost that need to encounter Jesus. But what does Jesus say about the harvest is ripe, but the workers are few? Who will he send? Mm-hmm. There's so much work to be done, but there's only a few people that actually go out and do it.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking, because sometimes...
I have 2 minutes left too, by the way.
Okay, we have to. One thing that I'm thinking, it's sometimes when you see all these darkest stuff around, at least my mind sometimes play the game that, oh no, the real world is so hard, how we have lost the battle,
Yeah,
but
it's not true.
But that's not the real world. The real world is that Jesus died in the cross and he resurrected, and we are part of something that he is doing, and he has the last word. So it's not for discourage, it's for encourage.
Look there's more, because it's so dark, there's more opportunity. The more receptive people are to the gospel.
Exactly. Yes.
The more receptive they are. I got, right now when we were flying over here, I got pictures from Christina. They're in Hemet, California. They did 2 assemblies back to back. And more than they had 800 kids, students, all different colors, all different walks of life, in 2 different lunch assemblies. And they were packed. And they said that multiple churches came out, principals, everyone came out from all over to watch, and other pastors. And literally more than half the place came forward on each assembly. They were tripping. What does that mean? Even though you feel like the world is so dark, the brighter the light shines, it's more opportunity. The more receptive people are going to be, the darker it gets. So get out there, get after it. We got to wrap this interview up because we're coming to an end. Hesser, How do you say your last name in Spanish?
Gaona.
Gaona. Hesser Gaona from the Whosoevers, Mexico. You can find him on Instagram and on our Instagram. And I even have past shows with him on our YouTube channel and our podcast. Go to Ryan Ries Official on YouTube, and we have all the past shows for I think I've been doing this for 8 years now. I cannot believe it. It means I'm old. But still just coming up with these cool stories, interviewing amazing people. I love you guys. Go to RyanReese.com. We're doing revival nights all over the globe with the whosoevers.com. We are invading the public schools. This year, I think we're forecasted to hit over 150 schools in 1 year. Oh, wow. So we are excited. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys next weekend. Peace.
This has been The Ryan Ries Show. To connect and find out more about Ryan, click on ryan-reese.com. Check us out next Saturday at 9 p.m. for The Ryan Ries Show.